No.
Okay, it's recording.
What is God?
He's everything, nothing but himself.
Okay, you always say that God has given everyone the same. Explain.
Same means total number of happiness and misery, everybody go through equal. And God has given everybody what actually he needs at the right time, and he gives always.
If you have to use Gujarati words, it's okay too. Okay, do things really happen for the best?
Always. Best means best for majority of the people. Not best means one individual himself.
Okay, what is the difference between bhakti and gyan?
See, bhakti is something that actually you devote yourself to the God, like he's only everything. You don't have any desire for yourself, just you have the love for him. And that status of living is called bhakti. Gyan is something that you actually got by experience about the God, and then you think that, oh, this one is my knowledge. So you possess it like that, you feel like you possessing something, it's yours. And that's why Gyan is not that much important, because that always gives you the burden of possessing something. And ultimate result is not bringing you peace of the mind. Simply it's going to confuse more or just fill up the gap of the time, how to pass the time.
And bhakti was one?
Okay?
Love.
You know.
Okay, okay, what lessons should we teach our kids and how?
Always do what actually you think is right for others. That does not harm others. You don't have any personal selfishness. And those things, if you do in the life, you don't have to do anything else. Always think doing something that you think going to help universe, Srishti.
Okay, we never heard you speak badly of people when they did wrong. How do you see the good in everyone and everything?
Because as I said from beginning, the definition of God, nothing is but himself. So only thing that persons react towards anybody is keeping one thing only in his mind, is okay, he want to do something or he want to say something because he think that is good for that person's. It's not like you want to do something to make yourself to look good or you are something smart person.
Okay, how can God be so many different names and types?
Because, as I said, nothing but the God. That's a fact. There is nothing, anything in the universe that you see is simply his magnification. You know, it's called what call is in English? Words I don't know, but
Extension.
no, that means M something M stars.
Manifestation.
Yeah, something like the manifestation. So nothing but the God. That's the fundamental truth. Everything that you see different ways is simply is like a different forms, different shapes, different things. So anywhere you use the words of describing anything, that you see in Anant means infinite, infinity. Like if you say it's beauty, that also infinite type you will see that. Same thing, any words you use, you know, that in infinity you will find out in the universe. And that all infinities, when you add up, that's become the God. Because he is actually everything, nothing but himself.
would you say is the meaning of life?
Meaning of life, actually, I say, is one thing. White was created from God, Shiva, and Jeev, because it looks like he only create the life to know himself, realize himself, It's manifestation, that's the words, of himself, and to try to realize himself. And as I said, he's infinite. So that's why he became the smallest part also. So he is actually everywhere that you can count, the smallest one, being there. And he simply, in the form of the life, want to expose or want to know himself, expose himself, which is everything that you put the words, like in infinite. It's not like you can count 1, 2, 3. To realize that thing, only he became that life, he gave the life.
What is your favorite family memory?
Memory?
Changing gears now. Family memory. Favorite family memory?
Actually, family's memory, ultimately that we see is like, say, that Swamiji came in our life, right? That one was the memory.
Okay, so we're speaking of Swamiji. What did Babji teach you and how?
Babji teach simply thing that what you have to do, that you do without actually wasting your time to know good or bad things. Simply make sure that you're doing because you have to do that. It is predestined. Simply don't do that thinking that, oh, you are doing something.
But how do you know what it is that you have to do?
That's simply thing, like say, whatever going to happen is going to happen, right? So only thing that time before anything you do, you must be always prepared that no matter what outcome comes, is not going to disturb your mental status. You're going to be in the same way before you do something and after you do something mentally. So you don't get disturbed by outside things,
So, what gave you faith in Babji? Like, what made him different? Like, तुमने like Babji में like जो श्रद्धा है,
Okay.
how did that come about? You can give
See,
examples.
Babji was like a saint, and what the virtues they have, saint is like, as I find out, there is no difference between God and the saints, because they have such a power that once you see them, they meet you one time even, you forget your own self totally, and you think like what you can do for him, that because there's tremendous love somewhere, attracting you, so you actually don't have yourself left at all. And that one was Swamiji has, and Swamiji means saint. Any son has this thing, and that's why there's no difference between saint and the God. Saint simply comes before you in the form, visual form that you can see and act like normal persons.
But not all saints are real saints, right?
No, saint is saint. You have to know the saint, who is the saint or not. A saint you cannot find by looking. He comes himself in your life without any invitations, and with his power he changes everything. Yeah.
So can you give
He
it?
simply kills your self-ego. He only makes the goal, who you are and where you have to go, why life is and what you have to lead to that. So everything that you do is keeping in with full understanding that he's doing what actually God has made me to do that, what he wants me to do that, Ultimate my goal is to go back to reach my divine form, which is God.
But can you give like a specific example, something that Babji કર્યું that તમને like, oh yeah, this is good to the chest?
Yeah, Babji actually, when he came from his what called the Anustan from jungle. He has the first Anustan, and after 21 days Anustan, in 11th day what happens, that he was locked in one room, and once another that's what we call the saint came, and he want to meet him, and Dada said you cannot meet him because he has ordered us to open his door after 21st days, and it is only 11th day. So he went with that guy to see the darshan of Bhuchaji Mata. And what they saw that time, like a miracle, is there is one kund where people take the bath, right? So they saw that time that in that kund, Swamiji was taking bath. So that time these people surprised, how come this can happen? We have locked him, right? How is he here? And that time he wrote one sentence and gave an answer. He said, the por sir prasang nakki જ હોય છે. That means, por means time, sir means place, prasang means occasion, are always predetermined. It looks like it's happening because we do something, it's wrong. Everything is predetermined.
So he बाहर निकल गया.
Yeah. And he was out.
So do you think everyone's life is pre-planned, which is yes, obviously, because you just said that. Meaning, do we control our own destiny, or is the path already written? And if yes, how does karma play a role?
Okay, the actual thing is like that. Everything that we seeing, like we doing differently, and that is his perfections. So we actually see what he's seeing is a real thing, which is actually not. Actually, whole universe, whatever you see is not, it is simply illusion. But it is real, and that is his imperfections, his perfections. But it looks real to us, that is our imperfections. So in other words, what actually is, like everything that we do, right, that actually on karma siddhant, karma, they say, it is right, that you going to get the fruit of that, right? And you going to make your future out of that. So that is true one way. But the real truth is not that. Real truth is that this all thing is illusion. There is nothing but himself, only himself. Even small insect to the big one, or big tree, anything that you see, simply himself. It's not different. It looks different, but it's only one thing, and one and only one thing, God, nothing but that. That's why definition of God is, that's why when whatever you see, and the infinite things in the world, right? So many. So all these things, when you add up, that is total is called the God.